email.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm awake. You're awake. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not in charge of you. But it is Friday. So we are playing Minecraft. I had another thought. What was I gonna say? No webcam again today because I am sleepy. And also I've been cleaning. And the cleaning will continue, and then on Sunday it will be over because I will say it is over on Sunday. But I hope that everybody's having a fantastic time zone. I hope everybody had a good week. Happy holidays to everybody. Or whatever holiday they celebrate. If not, then just happy Friday. But how is everybody doing? You guys doing anything cool this weekend before the holidays? Or is the weekend just getting everything done so that you can do all the holiday stuff? While I locate my every tab ever. Where did all of my tabs go? I'm fine. My tomato. Okay, I did everything that I said I would. Where are my notifications, though? Dead and gone, apparently. It's fine. Going to the Pigeon Museum? What do you mean there's a Pigeon Museum? I need to know more about this immediately. So holidays, there's even snow where I am? That's nice. Some places get snow during, like, Christmas time. The areas that I've grown up in are literally, unironically, despite being known for snow at some parts of the year, have almost never had snow on Christmas Day. It's been really funny. It's like snowed like days before Christmas, and then it's like, yeah, but it's all melted now. Hi, Aether. How are you? Look, I'm still here. You're still in the building, Minty, who probably can't hear me right now. But regardless, we play Minecraft today. We're gonna work on some of the Project Stronghold stuff. But very good news. Very extremely good news before we get into the video gaming. Anne had a vet appointment this week where she had to go in and she had to get some levels tested because her thyroid medication, we're getting used to it. We're trying to figure out where it all goes. We're trying to make sure that she's actually on the right track and that she doesn't have any like weird ancillary infections that have happened because of thyroid issues. First of all, she is gaining weight, which means that the meds are the correct dosage, and she is actually evening out and now getting back up to a healthier weight. She wasn't severely underweight, but it was concerning, and she has no more infections, so she's a happy cat, and by a happy cat, I mean a slightly annoyed cat, because she still has to be given meds. But that's okay. So everything's good here. I don't know a ton as I don't want to spoil it for myself, but from what I know, a museum about pigeons, but specifically focused on how they were used in World War I and World War II. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I hope you have a good time, Tomato. The video game. I have the video game. The video game is real, and so is Stan, who I had to resize because I forgot to remove him from the side of the screen when I ended stream, but it's fine. But anyways, we're gonna just be chilling, relaxing. I have no... Well, I just don't have any real thoughts. The head is empty. So we shall just do our best. But I hope that you guys are doing well.
Twitch Prime.
Twitch Prime. Why are you saying Twitch Prime, Woo? Are you just telling people that it exists? Fuck. Also, Woo, I appreciated your message of sending me the Mariah Carey one that is just metal pipe sounds. Thank you for sending that to me to let you know if that's allowed or not. To which I went, well, it probably is fine, but if Minty nukes it, Minty nukes it. Trying to do comic based on the Ghost Vlogger conversation. Oh, Ghost Vlogger. I forgot about the Ghost Vloggers. I thought too much about business things. I forgot about the Ghost Vloggers. Man, that would still be really sick. That's the kind of afterlife I want. I want one where there's a whole bunch of people just making weird content still. Because it's kind of just what I want for real life, but people keep not doing that too, so. Yeah, I know you're angry. Oop. We're fine. Anyways, back up to the ceiling we go. But also, starting is the hardest part of any project. Like, in general. It's definitely where I struggle with a lot of stuff. So like, if I'm ever starting a new project, it is 100% the just getting started thing. And I don't think this would apply for comics because it's a different medium. But when I do writing and stuff and I'm struggling to figure out where to start with something, I do word vomit. Like just train of thought, like stream of consciousness writing. Literally set a timer for like 5 minutes, do that, and then once my brain is done vomiting words onto paper, then I actually start writing. And I write on the same paper or in the same document that I was doing the word vomit in, because then my brain goes, oh yeah, there's already stuff here. No big deal. There's probably some psychology of like you're taking away the blank paper and like letting your brain just work, but I don't know. I just know it works for me. You're welcome. I'm not going to be able to stop hearing metal pipes for a little while here. Are you still listening to it, or are you just thinking about it? Are you just thinking about the metal pipe sounds? No, it's in my head like Miku. I feel like I should feel fear about that sentence, but I'm not quite sure why. I think I'm worried. It's probably fine. There should be a block here. Several blocks here. Bloop. I'm gonna fall off of this, but this is fine. Oh. Never tried doing a comic book before, but I imagine it's like storyboarding, but less, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, you'll probably be fine. Itastic. I saw you posted your video about doing the lino cut. I need to sit down and watch it, but I haven't had the moment to yet. But I like the way your thing turned out. It looked very, very cool. Fun to make. Both the lino cut and the video, or one over the other? Because I know you've been trying to like work on like some video editing stuff I think you were talking about at some point. But I'm wondering if you're having fun with that part of it too. Oh. Both the video is also a bit of a pain at points, but still fun. Hell yeah. I mean, that's how creative stuff sometimes goes. I'm fine. We're fine. I'm just gonna keep following. It's fine. No, but I'm glad that I keep seeing the rats make cool things, and I'm very excited to make cool things. I'm excited for the rats to keep making cool things. Also, that's a lot of days, Tastic. That's a lot of days. I think I'm gonna fight you and Minty at the same time. If you guys get to 200, I think I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna make something specifically for you guys about touching grass. I don't know why. I know you both live very good, balanced lives, but there's something about seeing, seeing that number go up that makes me go, no. Love making comics. If it's based off of conversation, try starting with the dialogue, sectioning it off into manageable related segments. Don't be afraid to cut a lot of dialogue too. Big part of comics is telling through the picture instead of only the words. Yeah, it's the show don't tell. And a lot of stuff can be said with like how the characters are standing, where they're standing in relation to each other in ways that you would not have to say with just their dialogue. Like you don't have to say like one character saying to another, I hate you. Because all you need is the stance of another character looking like they're going to murder the other one. Far away, arms crossed, closed off from the other person can say a lot. Or with a knife in their hand also says a lot about the situation. Where am I? Would be that one. Three. Sure, we're close enough. My brain conceptualizes stories as Warrior Cats animations. I will be real. Does your brain do that even when it's like your own like OCs? Like not Warrior Cats related in the slightest, but your brain just goes, this is a Warrior Cats OC AMV. And then starts there and you're like, ah, I understand now. Oh, I've fallen. So fantastic. I conceptualize stories as comics most of the time. Occasionally writing if I've been writing a lot as of late. That's fair. Yep, I'm like, they put their ears back and I'm like, wait, that's a human. Listen, you can just give them fun animal ears too. No, but it is really interesting seeing what things people hold onto from what stories they read when they were younger. Because I know a lot of people that are in the Warrior Cats camp of like, oh, well, I grew up reading all of the Warrior Cats books and understanding that, or reading Guardians of Ga'Hoole, and all of the body language is done with, like, various animal traits. And it doesn't always necessarily work out as, like, 100% accurate to real life, but it is really funny sometimes to see what people hold onto from those. There are some authors that like have phrases that they repeat, like there are actions that characters take that they really like, and it's really, really funny because sometimes if I'm reading a fan fiction and I see the same phrase repeated over and over and I go, that sounds familiar, and then I sit there and I go, they liked this series of books because I remember the author really liked that phrase and would use it all the time, and they've just subconsciously absorbed it. And then I'll go look at what other things they've written and go, ah, yes, there's that thing right there that I was talking about. It's really interesting what you pick up. Owl Tree Book, my beloved. Listen, the Guardians of Ga'Hoole series was sick. I liked those books a lot. I think no, I don't have them anymore. I think I actually purged them at some point because, I think I had... Well, okay, now I have to look up the Guardians of Ga'Hoole wiki page to look at all the books. Guardians of Ga'Hoole. No, not Guardians of the Galaxy. I do not care about the space people right now. Thank you, Wikipedia. I understand that you need money. Can I have books in the series? Okay, so I had all of the 16... I had, like, the main series books. Except 16, because 16 didn't exist at a point in time when I cared. I had 1 through 15, and then I think I had the Legends of Hoole series, which was a 3-part series, because I remember I had a section of books that weren't the same and were separate. Oh my god, I forgot they wrote bear books too, and horse books, and wolf books. I love people. More weird books. Totally get that vibe from a human though, at least the body language translating, like their head ducking slightly, shoulders coming forward as the rest of the torso reels back a little bit. Love when writers really like a specific kind of phrase or actions or similar, you see it in their writing. It's definitely interesting. I think I have to go one more over, otherwise I will have nowhere to put my blocks. I still have nowhere to put my blocks because they hate me. There's an interesting thing that happens where, like, I don't know what to call them. Because it's like... It's not like a filler phrase or sorry, I said like too many times in there, my brain actually just got confused as well. But there's like filler phrases, like the word like, or other noises that people will make when they are speaking because they are thinking. And I don't want to say that the phrases that I'm thinking of are the same, but they do come up in conversation as naturally to that author as filler phrases. And it's really interesting because I know I have them. I know the very specific way in which I do that when I write. And I actually do a lot of like effort to edit it out because I do it too much. But it's really interesting to see that kind of thing for different people. Right there. Because sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Oh, that worked. Except for that. That's fine. Wolves, you say? Yeah, they had a wolf series. Wolves of the Beyond. Which was a series about dire wolves. Which had, like, Guardians of Ga'Hoole characters in it. Like, set in the same world, but it was different. And apparently they had 6 books. They also had a horse book. Which is interesting. There were 3 of those. Actually, who is this author? Are they doing anything? Catherine Lasky, what are you publishing? This is a bad list. This does not have the dates for anything. That's not how you spell Catherine. Catherine Lasky. Has she put out anything recently? Books. This website does not have dates on it. Give me a better thing. Give me the Goodreads. I want to see all her books. I don't want just her series. Give me all of her books ever. No, I don't want to see her posts. Catherine Lasky's books. By original publication year. Okay, she just put out a book this year. Okay, so she's still writing things. Interesting. She's writing less than she used to, but she's still putting out stuff. She did Glass, a Cinderella Tale this year. Interesting. Every time I finish a book, I will have the voice of the narrator of the book stuck as my writing voice for days, and sometimes it becomes really obvious if I've managed to write anything in a few days after finishing a series. No, I completely understand that. I do that with anything. You can really see it if I've finished anything in like the last week when I'm writing, because I will very obviously have some of that person's like tone in everything that I'm doing. So I'm very certain that a lot of the stuff that I've written lately will be very weird because I've been reading the Southern Reach trilogy again, and so my brain is just full of weird environmental science and also aliens, but not aliens. But I don't know. Understandable. I like picking apart my speaking mannerisms and attributing different parts of it to different characters, since otherwise I have a hard time giving my characters different voices. That's fair. Voices are hard for characters. I don't know how to describe it. I've struggled on and off with it, where some characters are really easy for me to figure out and some aren't. And I don't know how I figured it out for the ones that I have, and for the other ones that I can't, I just sit there and yell at them until I figure something out. And that usually works. Is it effective for my mental health? No, probably not, but it works. I'm good at body language for characters, but that might also be partially a visual thing for me. Yeah, there's all sorts of different things. People process the world around them in different ways, so some people are going to be better at the physical mannerisms and visualizing them, whereas some people are better at like the words and like the tone of speech. We're all different. We all process things slightly different, which is why I like reading a lot of different authors, specifically just to see how they do their characters, because some writers hit the nail on the head with the way that they combine some of the descriptions of their characters, and I sit there and I just revel in how amazing their characters were written. And then other ones, while they might not have great voice as the character, the different actions in the story read really well, and that's really interesting. Good morning. Hi, Void. It is not morning, but that is okay. That's falling. I'm fine. It's morning somewhere? Okay, I'll give you that one. Generally focus pretty hard on vocabulary when trying to figure out a character's voice, but I'm never confident if I've actually made characters sound different. I read my stuff out loud when I'm struggling with that. Well, I just read my stuff out loud in general. It's a lot easier for my ear to tell the difference between, like, the tones of voice that I've picked or how the vocabulary plays out when I read stuff out loud. So I tend to do that, because that'll get me a better read on what's going on. Also, I forgot to download the thing so I could make it easier to see what I'm doing. So we're just flying by the seat of our pants here with the black concrete in the ceiling. Bam. But I will, at the end of the day, say that I always think a combination between speech patterns and physical mannerisms can make or break whether or not your characters feel believable. Oh, it is working. I thought it wasn't working for a second. I thought I was going insane. It is working again. Man, I lined it up perfectly on this time around, apparently. Never mind. I take it back. Boop. But if you can balance out the mannerisms and the tone of voice, you can get some really good characterization happening. Okay. Actually, I might pull off this and then take it with me. Also, I've realized that I have screwed up my timing. I will need to take a quick break in like 5 minutes so that I can give Anne her meds. I should have thought about that before I started stream and just gave her her meds early, but I did not think that far ahead. My brain cells were not brain celling. But we'll wait for the ads to start and then I will go give her her meds. Boop. One of the reasons why I want to have VAs for specific projects so the actors can make some choices for tone and such. That's true. That's fun. I always think it is very interesting, like, the difference between how you do, like, screenplays and script writing with the knowledge that, like, you're probably not writing for a specific person. Like, the tonality of it doesn't need to be fixed. Some parts of it need to be fixed, and maybe some meanings in it you really want to convey in, and you'll specify some of those. But some of the smaller things can be left up to an actor to, like, figure out a little bit more. Okay. Now that I've finished that, I'm going to take a quick second. The ads are going to start in like 2 minutes. I'm going to go give Anne her meds and her food before she gets upset with me. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Anne decided that she both did and did not want her meds. She really just wanted the food, but she didn't want to sit still long enough for me to feed her the pill. But we're fine. I also love collaborating on things and letting people bring some of my concepts to life. That's very fair. I had a feeling she was gonna be that way. She's sometimes fine. She sometimes decides to fight back. I have a scar. It's not a real scar. But I have a scar from a battle the other day of getting her into the carrier to go to the vet. Because she was not happy that she was going back to the vet. And she really tried to ball herself up. That's like being difficult at specific times. Yeah. She's really good when I come home from work and I give her meds and she's like, yes, I will sit still for this one. But God forbid I do it any other time. If I'm doing it slightly later than when I get home from work, she's like, no, no, no. You made me wait. You made me wait for this. How dare you? We love them anyways. Yes, we love them always. Undertale. Deltarune. Deltarune next year. Toby Fox confirmed we are getting Deltarune chapters in 2025. Which I kind of figured. Based on the progress that he was talking about, that all of the localization had done so far, I was like, that's a 2025 release. For those chapters that were where they were. So we're getting that. And on top of that, you know what you guys are getting next year? Another off playthrough. Mortis Ghost had a off the game merch release this week. As with it came an announcement of a Steam and Switch release. I know some people are saying that like the Switch release is going to be the one that has extra stuff. No. I think the way that Mortis Ghost would do it is that the Switch and the Steam release are both going to have the extras. Whatever extra he has decided to deign upon us. So I'm really excited to see what he's decided to do. But either way, I'm giving money to Mortis Ghost, and I will continue to give money to cool devs that I think are very neat. Because I want to keep playing variety games. I'm looking at my list of things for next week, and I'm trying to come up with like the rough list of the games I want to play. And I'm just even thinking about into next year, I'm like, what about all these other games that I want to play? And then comes the inevitable struggle of, but when will I play Minecraft? And the answer is, I don't know. Is now a bad time to admit I still have no idea what Off is besides the fact that it's a game? So Off is an RPG maker game that was made by Mortis Ghost in, I think the original French release was in 2009. The English translations that came out, I think the best ones came out in like 2011. It's a story about the character that is the Batter trying to save the world by purifying ghosts. That's really all you need to know about it. I'm going to play it again. So if you want to see it again, we're going to be playing it again. Which is like it was inevitably going to happen. Because I think at this point I have played it. Okay, I played it earlier this year. Have I played it 3 times, or is it only 2 times and then the reruns? From when I went home to see my parents for the holidays. I don't know. Regardless, we'll play it again. I love that game too much. I told the story about how the original time I played it like in the summer while I was in high school. In like a fever dream kind of way where I started at like in the middle of the night and played all the way through the night. Like, legitimately played it throughout the night. Like, it was a 5-hour game. It's really not that long of a game, but like, it was, dear God, the experience of playing it at that time of day for the first time really made it something weird and special for me, I guess. But it's a very good game. Off has 4 main elements. The first is smoke, the first is metal, the first is plastic, the third is meat, and the first is sugar. I'm pretty sure sugar's still the first. It's a really interesting thing. I really like the game. Like, legitimately, it is one of those games that, like, between that and Undertale... Speaking of off music, Jesus, how did it know? The walls are listening. The playlist is listening. It's just a good experience. I don't know how else to describe it. Because, like, I feel like this way about Mind Hack as well, and I actually really fucking adore Mind Hack for what they did, because it is almost the same experience in my head of playing off, of like, this is a weird little story that somebody has put together, and I absolutely adore that they did it, but dear God, am I confused. It's breaking. Weep. Excited to hear new music, sad for no Pepper Steak, but excited. Pepper Steak will live on in our hearts. Forever and ever. And also in my playlist because it's downloaded onto my computer. And you can rip the Pepper Steak from my cold dead hands. Dead cold hands? Cold dead hands. One of them. My hands when I am dead. Fuck it, Pepper Steak. Where is Pepper Steak? Oh, there's Pepper Steak. We queue it up next. Off and One Shot are both beloved games in my head. I mean, that's entirely fair. I feel like in the same way that there are books that were incredibly developmental for me as a young person, there are some games that will always just hit different. And Off is always going to be one of them for me. Deltarune, well, not Deltarune, Undertale will. Undertale always will, but that's because Toby Fox and Homestuck and many complicated feelings there. Rat server? What are you saying about rat server? Okay, helpful guys. Is it okay? Did anything break? Or are you guys just thinking about it? Shit, I forgot I need to do that first. I'm a failure. What if I kick both off right now? It'd be kind of funny. You have to admit, it would be a little bit funny. A kick's not permanent. It's just a mild inconvenience. Wait, is he doing- hold on. Is he redoing all of the music? Is he redoing all of it? Not that that's gonna stop me from making backups of the original songs, but doesn't own the rights to any of it, I think. Hold on, I need to look up something. Did he not reach out to the person? Wait. The soundtrack and other works by ACC, who is Alex Conrad Coldwood, are not copyrighted and are free to use in video/streams. Is that maybe why he's redoing it? Too? Because if it gets put into an official game, I know sometimes things get wonky. He and the person who made the music are not on speaking terms? Forgot that. Listen, sometimes you just have to have a fight with some people in the same industry. It happens. A lot, actually. The number of times that I've looked at some, like, project that somebody has made when, oh, that's cool. Who else did they work with? And then, like, there's, like, one reference to another person they worked with on this small project, and then no other reference because the two of them had a fight and are no longer friends, and you're like, oh. I feel like something happened here. Stop. But yeah, no, that is the danger of doing indie projects like that, is the rights can get weird. What happened where? Right there. Was Colonel Mustard with a chainsaw? That's not a viable move in Clue. I feel like that should be a viable move in Clue. It's also coming from post about off. I trust this post in general because someone who watched the stream / is more invested in all the updates. I mean, I vaguely remember them having a fight, but I don't- well, not a fight. I remember, like, hearing that they were not on speaking terms. But I don't remember the other context behind it. What are you talking about? Off? What else would I be talking about in this day and age? Whoop. Taxes? Something about Colonel Mustard? Colonel Mustard with a chainsaw. I feel like there should be an updated version of Clue. I want more interesting weapons. I want them to think about all the things that, like, Game Grumps would look at and say, like, yeah, that could be a murder weapon. And I want them to make that version of Clue. I could make that version of Clue. Sorry. Death by Pail. No, because if I killed people with a bucket, I'd have to come to terms with my Homestuck feelings about buckets, and I don't want to. Homestuck buckets have already turned buckets in general into a torture device. Except for Peepo Bucket, who is too good for this world. They are very awkward to see. No Homestuck, only Peepo. If only if it was that easy. If only I could erase the Homestuck from my brain. Alas. I can't. Hi, Anne. Did you eat all your food? Yes? Okay. Good talk. We're getting closer. Okay. I need to figure out a good spot. Like right here. Ooh. I'll take it. That'll be fine. Extra curses upon Arca Arcdoodle for enabling me to read that fucking thing. I mean, you did it to yourself. Hold on. No, listen, I understand wanting to blame the person that introduced you to it, but you do have agency and you do have free will and you are able to make choices, and you could have said no to Homestuck, but you said yes to Homestuck. Don't worry, I do blame myself every day. Okay. Remember, kids, always say no to Homestuck. Unironically, I would actually agree with that. I know that sounds like a joke, but like legitimately. As someone said it best some amount of time ago, you can't fight the Homestuck. I hate the way that my brain had flashbacks to the song. I hate it. At least my brother waited till I was 13 to read it instead of getting me into it at an earlier age, which 13 is still too young, but still. Yeah, I would say that, like, if anything, Homestuck is like, if you're 16, which don't tell me your age in chat, if you were 16, I think it would be okay with somebody reading Homestuck at that point. 13 is too young, despite the age of the characters being 13 at the beginning of the webcomic. And honestly, I think there's some things that you would never get unless you're older, just in general, because Homestuck was made by, I think he was at that point, a 30-year-old man. Therefore, he made 30-year-old man jokes. Some of which required some understanding of the world to appreciate and understand and really absorb. Homestuck always frustrates me because, like, it always could have been so much better had it not been written by an internet troll. It has so many genuinely cool ideas, but it's so mired in so much internet trolliness of the time. I mean, that was like the brilliance of it, and that's what I think about constantly when I think about Homestuck, is legitimately how internet it was. And I know that's weird to say, but hear me out for a second. Homestuck didn't start as this, but it turned into a really good example of this, which is criticism of online behavior. Literally, at the end, it was very obviously, and even the trolls were this way, very, very obviously a critique on some of, like, online culture. Each of the trolls, quite literally, are a different part of the online landscape and how people would mess with each other. Some of them are obvious, like Karkat's constant swearing and yelling in all caps is quite literally a quintessential internet troll. Solix's need to hack into things, Nepeta's shipping, some of the other characters and some of the other little things that they did kind of lean into it. The trolls were the most obvious, but even the kids were part of, like, talking about online culture. That is the interesting part of it. Do I think Hussie went into it with that in mind? No. Not at the very beginning. But he did get there, and then some of the characters changed in later years in order to fit that kind of mold that he was talking about. And the meta nature of it isn't a bad thing either. It does make it frustratingly... I don't know how to describe this. I was gonna say rich, but that's not it. it's just obtuse to read through some parts of it because you're sitting there going like, oh yeah, all these characters do all these things. And then Andrew Hussie is like, yes, but would you like to know literally all of this stuff? And you're like, no, I don't need all of this stuff in order to get the point that you're making, but you are going to make this. V8? You mean Vriska? Being who she is? No, listen, that is one thing I will never agree with everybody on. Listen, you can fight Vriska. You can not like Vriska. Vriska did nothing wrong. I will live and die on this hill. Not because it's right, just because I think it's funny at this point. That's a table. But, I mean, this is not a defense of any of the characters that Hussie wrote, but, like, I know that we look at him and go, like, why would he ever do that? Like, why is he like that? He's made something incredibly weird. There's so many pieces of, like, classic literature now that are not the equivalent, but, like, they are the equivalent of that. Just for their era. Like characters that are inconsistent and stories that are obtusely long for no particular reason, and there's all these weird little things. There's a set of books that I read for a literature class when I was in college where it's... I have to look this up so I can, like, grab any sense of it. I have the book still. So, the book series is called Gargantua and Pantagruel, which was made by, I think it was originally, no, was it originally written in English? I think it was originally written in French, because the author's name is Francois Rabelais, and that is a very French name. But, like, these are a series of books in which, I forget how many official books there are. I think there's 4 that everybody concedes are 100% it, and then it's either the 5th one or the 6th one that gets weird, where people are like, we're not sure if he wrote this. We cannot tell. But, like, I'll read these titles because they are absurd. Book 1 is called The Horrible and Terrifying Deeds and Words of the Very Renowned Pantagruel, King of Dipsods, son of the great giant Gargantua. Book 2 is called The Very Horrific Life of Great Gargantua, Father of Pantagruel. The 3rd book is called The Third Book of the Heroic Deeds and Sayings of Good Pantagruel. The 4th one is called The Fourth Book of Heroic Deeds and Sayings of Good Pantagruel. Like, he suddenly had an idea of, like, what the series should be called, and then just inserted numbers into it. And it's very absurd. There is a section in which characters speak multiple languages, and even in the translated version, they left in all of the other translations because there's a section, how many sections is it? There are several sections in there where it is literally nonsense language. Like, they've looked at it. There is no known languages that follow these variations of anything. It's not real words. Literally, the dude just threw nonsense in there and said, this is part of what I am saying. And it's absolutely ridiculous because there's also so many inconsistencies between all the characters, and, like, we don't remember the size of the characters, and, like, between the different volumes he has them, like, do different things, and then he turns back on, like, their characterizations in one volume. And it's absolutely absurd. And the absurdism and the inconsistencies, not that they were on purpose, all come together, and then you look at something like Homestuck. And if you look at very early Homestuck, there is a very clear idea of what Andrew Hussie was doing with some of the characters that he was, like, setting up with, and then also just some nonsense that he said, yeah, my internet friends would say this. Quite literally, I think he said that some of those early, like, maybe not even just the early ones, but some of like the Pesterchum logs are almost verbatim conversations he's had with real people in real life. And based on what I have seen from Andrew Hussey, that would check out, because he says some absurd things, and so do some of his friends. That's some shit John would read. Yes, he would call it a good read, and my favorite part would be the nonsense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But, like, there have been people putting out, like, nonsense stories that, like, have deeper meanings, because we did do delves deeper into Gargantua and Pantagruel and, like, further meanings that you can gather from it. And a lot of that is mired in, like, what was going on in the world at the time? What was happening? Where were people going with everything? How was everybody feeling at that time? And you get a lot of that kind of stuff. And that's the fun of literature, honestly, is the fact that you can walk away from it and have a million different interpretations. I forget what my point was. Something, something, something. Andrew Hussey nonsense. Undertale. Off. People on the internet fight. Actually, no, Homestuck would be a great way to look at, like, how people on the internet fight. I'm pretty sure you could still look at some of the fights that some of the characters in Homestuck have and go, oh yeah, no, that makes sense with the way that we talk to each other on the internet now. Oh no. He's not tall enough. Is it read over 100 years later and everyone misunderstands parts because they don't understand the original time context? Oh, 100%. You don't even have to get 100 years later for Homestuck to lose some of its time-sensitive context. Like, legitimately. It's been, what? 15 years? Since Homestuck started? There's some context for Homestuck that's lost. Literally now. We aren't even like a quarter of the way to 100 years, and we're already losing context. And I have thought extensively about how Homestuck would be different had Andrew Hussey written it today versus in 2009. Because the kinds of trolls have changed. Very little, but they're different now. The kinds of issues that they're dealing with on some of the social media stuff changed. And he did kind of address some of that with like the alpha kids versus the beta kids, but like it's weird. It's weird to think how it would be very, very different. And I think a lot of people forget that with a lot of media that they read. Not that I think that you should completely abandon, like, your current frame of thought or, like, your current day and era opinions about things when you read something. But I do feel like a lot of people forget the original context in time in which some events happened and some stories came to be. Because they'll go into a book and expect it to mirror everything that they like about the world, because people have been like, this is a classic, everybody likes this, and then it turns out like, oh well, this one has like a handful of what is considered now either problematic or more complicated bits because the context has changed. Romeo and Juliet? No, people just don't know how to talk about Romeo and Juliet. If I have to hear one more time that a story is just like Romeo and Juliet, I am going to throw myself off of a Minecraft tower. It is now shorthand for every love story ever. Romeo and Juliet is still a tragedy. Forgive me, which ones are the beta kids? John. John and Dave and Rose are the beta kids. Too much timey-wimey nonsense for you to remember sometimes? The kids you start out with are the beta ones. To say Homestuck spoilers, it's because of the trolls shenanigans. Because the trolls reset their universe. So why is there a man in there? How'd you spawn in here? How'd you get in there? Well, I guess you can use the bed. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a queer reading of an older story, but sometimes it is just overtop misogyny to the point where the male character feels gay because they only like other men as conversation partners. And I mean, they were doing interesting queer stuff with characters. I mean, Shakespeare. You just gotta look at Shakespeare and look at the gender things that Shakespeare was doing. If somebody wrote Midsummer Night's Dream now, I can see the controversy happen almost in real time inside of my head. Like, actually. Oh, nope, that's fine. We're fine here. Whee! To be fair, I've seen some fun We're Like Romeo and Juliet, but they're actually talking about doomed romance and killing each other. I'm fine with that. If they want to have the doomed romance one and actually call it out as part of the thing, 100% here for it. Most of my problems are like everybody going like, oh, well, this story is just like Romeo and Juliet, and they're like, sweet romance, and I'm like, does anybody die? And they're like, no, why would anybody die? And I'm like, because Romeo and Juliet. Whee! If someone wrote Midsummer Night's Dream now, there would be such big options about if they needed a furry for that. No, they do need a furry. I think Midsummer Night's Dream can have a furry. Midsummer Night's Dream, rewrite where it ends in a polycool instead. A polycool of who? Because some of them, no. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. Like Romeo and Juliet, do they not know each other and then get overly dramatic and die? No. Not interested. Not good. The main four? That would be fine. I'm fine with that one. That's the thing I always hated about Romeo and Juliet. They straight up don't know each other. Yeah. I mean, Romeo and Juliet is such an interesting tragedy, and yet nobody talks about the tragedy parts of it. They talk about the romance parts of it. And I'm like, that's swell, guys, but like, can we talk about the actual, like, how everything fell apart for all these characters so quickly and so nonsensically? Because that is the interesting part. Hold on, we put this in here, and then we're gonna take this, and we're gonna go to the overworld and make some more concrete. This story is like Romeo and Juliet, I say pointing to a copy of Romeo and Juliet. No, it's completely different now, Void. I want to talk about Mercutio and how he was 100% justified in cursing everyone. Also, his monologue is still one of my favorites. A lot of the characters that are not Romeo and Juliet are actually the more fascinating ones in that play. And I think that is because Romeo and Juliet is not really a story about Romeo and Juliet. It is a story about the family drama that's happening between the families. Hello, everybody. Like, yeah, maybe we can, like, have some of it. It's literally just... There were other stories happening that were way more interesting. What the fuck did I do here? Oh no, never mind. I'm chill with that. That still looks fun. Fish. A pot of chai fish. What a good day to live here. Alright. Now I'm just gonna sit at the bottom of the ocean and do this, and there's no way that this will go wrong. Most of my thoughts about Romeo and Juliet is just grousing about people who changed the wherefore in Wherefore Art Thou Romeo to just where. Yeah. That's the plague on both your houses guy, correct? Yep, that's him. Did you think gets stabbed and then curses both of them for the stupid family drama that he wasn't actually a family of either for? Yeah. No, his relationship to the whole story is very fascinating. But like, legitimately, I don't think the story of Romeo and Juliet is really a story about Romeo and Juliet so much as it is about their families. In the escalation of stupid petty drama into nothing. That's really fun to watch on the map as everything spreads out from here. Victim of being friends with fuck-ass Romeo. Yeah, no, that is quite literally what happened to him. Actual doomed romance. Mercutio slash Benvolio slash Tybalt. Stupidest and most violent threesome. Oh, those poor cursed guys. The boiling it down into the romance, I think, has always bothered me. You can have doomed romance. I love a good doomed romance story. I just think that you can do better than comparing it to just Romeo and Juliet. Whoop. Those are fish. Because, like, I would say even some, like, other Shakespeare plays, I feel like, have better doomed romance lines than Romeo and Juliet. I just love his whole thing, too, when Romeo talks about love and Mercutio goes, ah, yes, Queen Mab, the fucking dreams in fairyland and you live in, can you get out of your fucking head, bitch? Yeah, he does do that. He's so real for that, and he should get more respect for what he did. But will he? No. Because everybody's too busy talking about Romeo and Juliet. Then again, I also really like some of Shakespeare's side characters. I honestly, like, Hamlet is my favorite play, and I think I've talked about that before. Hamlet is my favorite, but like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead is such an interesting exploration to what the fuck was happening with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern during that play. Because the characters in Hamlet legitimately feel like they float in and out of some of those scenes. Like, I think in the David Tennant production of that, I don't think they used any rooms really besides that great hall. Well, no, they did use some, but they primarily used that great hall for the entirety of that production of it. And it's so interesting how the characters do just float in and out of that space that Hamlet is in. It's so fascinating the way that that was done, and I keep thinking about it, and that maybe just tells you that I'm a giant nerd. I'm in love with more of the side characters than the main characters for Shakespeare plays. I think I'm just like that with a lot of pieces of media, though. There's a lot of good characters out in the world, and a lot of them are side characters, and nobody likes the side characters because they want all their favorites to be main characters. I don't. Let my characters be side characters. Sometimes they do a better job of living. There's a drowned here now. Awkward, I know nothing about Shakespeare plays? Well, now's your chance to start reading. Or watching. Honestly, if I was gonna suggest any of them, Midsummer Night's Dream is my favorite comedy. Hamlet is my favorite tragedy. He has other good tragedies, he has other good comedies, but the comedies are all the same plot. Which is fine. And some of the tragedies are just, ugh. Writing is difficult to read in my opinion. It takes time to learn how to read it. It's not that it is easy for me to read it. It is just that I sat there and I stared at it for hours and then eventually I got there. There's a lot of places that do like, I'm trying to remember what it is. I have several of them. What are they called? Nope, not you. Hold on, I have to go look at my shelf now. Really quickly. Okay, so I need to double check and see if they still exist. And ironically, this was also made by SparkNotes, which will probably make some people remember things, but these are not like cheaty books. Ooh, do they still exist? Oh, they do, and they are the same covers. So, there's a series of books, if you have a tough time reading Shakespeare in the original language, called No Fear Shakespeare. They're done by SparkNotes. They are generally pretty cheap, but what they do is on the left-hand page, they will have the original Shakespearean English, and on the right-hand side, they will have quote-unquote plain English. So, hold on, let me see if I can find... Where is it? I'm trying to find a good section. Okay, so Act 1, Scene 2 in Hamlet. You have Horatio, Marcellus, and Fernando walk into the room, to which I think Hamlet and Claudius... No. Hamlet was watching Gertrude and Claudius and talking to them, I think. They leave. He's alone for a second. He says some things about them. Horatio says, "Hail to your lordship." Hamlet says, "I'm glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?" Horatio says, "The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever." So if you go over to the other side, what it does is Horatio says, "Hello, sir." Hamlet says, "Nice to see you again, Horatio. That is your name, right?" Horatio says, "That's me, sir. Still your respectful servant." So, while you have to, again, take into account the contextual, like, way that people write and the way that quote-unquote plain English is not necessarily actually true plain English, it is still a really interesting way to get your toes into reading something like Hamlet, which is hard to read. Talking about No Fear Hamlet. I was talking about No Fear Shakespeare as a way to get into reading Shakespeare. Because essentially what reading a copy of No Fear Shakespeare does is allow you to see the way it was written in our interpretation of it. And then as you get better and better about reading the original Middle English, you get better about understanding what some things mean. And then you can keep going and keep learning from there. But like unironically, that is how I learned how to understand a lot of Shakespeare when I was in high school. Because even like watching some of it or like some of the other things, you don't get a lot of like the, just give me this in plain English. Like, that doesn't exist in a lot of places, but the No Fear Shakespeare, especially since it's side by side, like, you legitimately have, like, here's the big speeches, side by side. Here's what this means. And I know that some things will even include, like, footnotes of, like, okay, so this thing right here is actually what we think is a reference to this event in society. And that's why that was being referenced, is because this was also, like, a reference to something else that was actually happening. Just finished Hamlet and I'm actually really enjoyed it, so I got vaguely excited. It's my favorite Shakespeare play. Tomato, if you really liked it, there is a... I'm just gonna continue advertising this because I really, really like it. There's a short play by a playwright called Tom Stoppard. He wrote it, I think... When did he write it? Oh no, Tom Stoppard. I forgot so many things. Hold on. When was it written? Oh no, I was wrong. I was gonna say the 90s, but that's when the movie was made. It was made in 1966. Possibly even a little bit earlier. But he made a play called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is a further exploration of just Rosencrantz and Guildenstern in that play. It's absolutely ridiculous and I love it, and there is a movie version of it in which he actually helped with the script on it, so it actually works out really nicely because they add on to like some of the scenes that he wrote in the book or in the original play. And like they move some stuff around, but it made a lot of sense. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I'm probably gonna spell this wrong, but it'll be close enough. Oh, the author, Tom Stoppard, I think. That one. I did spell it correctly. I had to triple check because I wasn't sure. It's a short play. I think even the... Although you might have to watch it with ads. I think the YouTube... I'm ancient. YouTube might have the movie version of it on there, and if you don't have premium, I think it's still free to watch. I think it just has ads. Which, honestly, like, isn't the worst deal, because it is a very good play. It's really well done. But also, if you like the BioShock series, BioShock Infinite has a direct reference to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It's incredibly direct. It's very funny to me. That's fair. I feel like I have a weird relationship with Shakespeare because I was introduced to it / watching Shakespeare plays so fucking young. That kind of spiraled into, while I didn't understand all of what was happening, I could whisper to my dad and he would try... That's just concrete. He would try to give me a 2-sentence kind of here's what you were missing in context. Also, there are these short / kid versions of Shakespeare stories that we had gotten for a couple things for the library. Also kind of helped give the overview, then get more in depth as I got older. Yeah. BioShock. BioShock Infinite has a reference to, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Because Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, they spend an extended period of time flipping coins. And I don't remember who gets heads every single time, but one character's always flipping it to heads. And like the statistical probability of that is so low, and that's like kind of the commentary of the moment of what's going on. And then that's used in BioShock Infinite for some interesting takes on the things that are happening in the larger universe of BioShock. I've heard so much about BioShock, but I've never seen it be played or played it at all. Honestly, if you ever get the chance to, I've liked all of those games. I played them earlier this year because I'd never finished Infinite, but I'd played through 1 and 2. Because BioShock Infinite is technically the third game, but it's not necessary that you played the first 2 before you play Infinite. It adds some context to the ending of Infinite, but it's not necessary. They're a good set of games. Like, for the time period when they came out, they are revolutionary for some of the storytelling they did for video games. Does it have an evil Irish guy in it? Now I'm trying to remember all of the villains from BioShock. I mean, there's probably an evil Irish guy in there somewhere. But I'm also mixing it up with Dishonored in my head, so I don't know. Oh, right there. Beep. I'm gonna say yes, but with an asterisk of, maybe not. If so, then I have heard so much about this game because of Will Wood. I'm gonna be honest, I know so little about Will Wood. I know that he exists and that he has done things and people feel things and they really like the music. Unless I'm remembering the wrong person. I don't need those anymore. Whee! But I really like the BioShock games. They're really, really good. There's some other games that I want to play in 2025 that are like, not like classic, but are like, a lot of people hail them as classics. Hear people running. Got really into BioShock for a bit, so he's the only reason I know anything about it. It happens. I think it's really funny now because every now and then, like, somebody will get really into a video game and because they're a big popular person, like, tons of people find out about the video game and then they get excited about the video game too and then they go play the video game. Oop. There go my ankles. It's not a bad thing, it's just funny when it happens. I like seeing people get excited about things. And if people get excited about things and then spread that infection to other people, that's a good time. Which is also why sometimes I spend an absurd amount of time telling you guys about my favorite games and then playing my favorite games. Because not everybody gets to see the same games in the same time, and I think it's worth knowing something about the context even of when people found their favorite games or some of their favorite books. Which is actually something that I started thinking about again because I've been listening to audiobooks. So I've been doing the audiobooks for the Southern Reach trilogy, mainly because of commuting, but now I'm on break, so I'm just finishing the audiobooks because I started the audiobooks. I spent 12 minutes listening to the introduction to the audiobook for Acceptance, which is the third book in the Southern Reach trilogy, which is now a quadrilogy? Quadrology? Something. 4 books now instead of 3. But this woman, who is one of the narrators for the book, was talking about, like, I have to give you the context in which I read this book. Because it is so intertwined with my feelings about this book that it colors everything that I think about it, and the ways that I talk about it, and the ways that I interpret it. And it was so interesting to hear about where she had first read the book and, like, the life experience that she was having at the time. And I really liked the way that she ended it, which was like, I came back from that trip a changed person. And I have partially James Vandermeer to thank for that. And I was like, that's delightful. Thank you. Thank you, woman whose name I do not currently remember. Sometimes you get into a video game because you think it is locked tomb lesbians, but it isn't, and then 2 years later you are still trying to claw yourself out of the fucking mistake, and now your computer daily has a little pop-up ad for the newest game in the series, but you actually haven't played a single one of the games. Don't plan to. What game series did you think was going to be locked tomb? Fish game? Oh. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I can get rid of these. Whole masks, sunglasses, fun cosplay, goth. It is almost Locked Tomb series, but just not lesbians. I'm so excited for the next book in that series, by the way. I don't know when it's coming out. Eventually, but I'm so excited for it. Bathroom and snack break. Of course, Aether, have a good time. Perfect timing, because we're about to have an ad. And mohawks. That's true. I need to re-listen to or reread the other books. Again. Because I reread Gideon, and I have feelings about Gideon. I miss Gideon. That's really all of my feelings about Gideon, is that I miss Gideon. Also, serious grumpy one and jokey one who is bothering the other. True. That's just a good trope, though. I like that in any book. And then the jokey one fucking dies. It happens every time. You can't escape it. It's just the way it goes. It is the life that we live. It is the suffering we go through. Now I'm just thinking about Signalis now too. I miss space lesbians. Why are there so many space lesbians? Hold on. Why are there so many space lesbian stories? Why are they all doomed in space? Wait, that just happened in another book I read. Space lesbians were doomed, and then different space lesbians were not doomed, but were almost doomed. I don't know, but most of my lesbian podcasts are also space podcasts. Who put the lesbians in space? And why are they all suffering? Somebody knock it off. Astrology bitches too close to the stars. No, you can't say that. I hate it here. I hate it here so much. I feel called out, iStar. We just talking about the number of doomed space lesbians that exist. Not you, but just doomed space lesbians in general in fiction keep existing, and there's a lot of them. I'm not doomed? No, you're not doomed. No doom in real life, only doom in fiction. Oh? Doom in real life would not be fun. Whoa, hold on. Could somebody recreate the video game Dune in real life? Do you think Romeo and Juliet could have been solved through necromancy? Like, probably. I feel like somebody could have revived somebody instead of, like, also deciding to die. Why didn't Shakespeare have necromancers? Wait, no. The church. That's... never mind. I understand. I think necromancy would have made it worse. No, I think it would have solved several problems. Zombie Romeo and Juliet? We could make that happen. Anyway, I have Cheez-Its. I want Cheez-Its. Well. Alright, all that's good. Just need to go that way. Sure. Personally disagree with that, like necromancy would have gotten rid of House Fuckass and House Dumbass's beef. I mean, it could have made it a lot easier, because at some point there was just also a lot of fighting because of everything that was happening with like, oh, this character's dead, this character's dead. If the characters aren't dead anymore, problem solved. Would they still have found something to fight about? Yes, but at least people would have lived. But they would have instead blamed it on coming back wrong. I really like the trope of coming back wrong, but nothing is actually wrong. The person themselves has changed. Okay, but would they be angry? That's a character arc that they can have. They can have some character growth as a treat. Would have made it worse because then the two of them would actually have to get to know each other and come to understand that they aren't actually compatible. Yeah, but at least they'd get that chance. You are just right. Bring back MPT and nobody else. See, that's another thing, is that you could have just brought back different people that didn't deserve to die because of one person deciding to be dramatic. I don't think anybody would have been mad about them. Besides, Romeo and Juliet could not get a plan together. They do not deserve to come back. We're changing up the script. If one of them had just written a reasonable letter to the other one and had it delivered by themselves, could have solved so many problems, but they didn't do it. What about Hamlet? Everyone brought back? Yeah, I want to see Hamlet, like, fist fight everybody. That would not make Hamlet better. I just think it would make Hamlet funnier. We're gonna knock all of this down and then we're gonna start again. Imagine they bring back Mercutio and he kills both Romeo and Juliet himself and then hides the bodies so the families can't continue. I'm pretty sure they had other children. I'm fairly certain they would have had other children. But honestly, it sounds like Romeo and Juliet were the problem children, so getting rid of them would be the correct option. Where is it? Oh, it's up there. Oop. Bam, bam, bam. Here, we'll do a little bit right here. Bam, 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 bam. I thought that wasn't falling onto anything. I thought I was going insane. We're fine though. I forgot crafters were in Minecraft. Yeah, they are. Oh no, I haven't checked the melon and pumpkin farm. Well, okay, after I finish this, we'll go check the melon and pumpkin farm and see if they've blown up everything. Necromancy and Macbeth? It would have helped. Also, someone bring back Ophelia and Hamlet. Let my girl, like, have a decent day. Just fuck up Macbeth's whole day. Yeah, no, it would be the end of that entire thing. Yeah. Come on. Sleep. We're gonna leave the netherrack right there just because I am lazy. I'll need to clear out some of that side, but that's fine. Well, you put that block back where it came from, or so help me. I love crafters. I can make the planks I need to make and go chop more tree at the same time. Yeah. Really simple. Tried to kill the king. No, I succeeded in killing the king. The witches didn't mention the necromancy. That is not better. It would have made it a lot funnier. I say let our characters be nonsensical. I love stupid nonsensical characters. Wasn't the crafter 1.20? No. Minecraft.wiki. Crafter. Not issues. It didn't want the issues. No, it wasn't 1.20. It was officially part of the game in 1.21. It was experimental during 1.20.3. But it wasn't in the game until 1.21. The timeline gets messy when they do experimental stuff, and so things just linger for an extended period of time. Like, if you asked me when bundles were added, I would tell you simultaneously the year 2022 and this year. Because in my head and heart, they have been in Minecraft ever since Minty was able to give us bundles. That's not how they are, though. They weren't officially in the game until later. I just remember Cherry Blossom biome. I mean, Cherry Blossom would have been 1.20. No. Yes? Yes. Because 1.21 was the trials. And we already had the Cherry Blossoms at that point. Wait, even better, 12th night, but necromancy for Viola is just trying to find Sebastian's body the whole time to bring him back. Keeps making more and more strange comments on the body and corpses. That would be good. I'm still stuck way back. The last time I seriously played Minecraft was like before Microsoft was involved in it. I've played a few times since, but the only real highlight about that is me shouting, "Why the fuck is the ground giving me EXP when I'm mining it?" Listen, Zero, that's fair. I think there's a part of my brain that will always think of, because Minecraft being owned by Microsoft was, I'm trying to remember the timeline. What update Minecraft owned by Microsoft? What was the last Minecraft update before Mojang was bought by Microsoft? 1.8. So if I go back and look at Minecraft 1.8, because I still remember 1.12 very fondly, but that's because 1.12.2 is way part of the, like, modding scene. So a lot of the modding scene was very intense around that period. Either Google exists, you can go check what bundles are. 1.8 was Bountiful. Oh, that's where we got player heads in that one. That's right. Diorite, andesite, granite, coarse dirt, prismarine bricks, dark prismarine, red sandstone, iron trapdoors, sea lanterns, wet sponges, slime blocks. Banners came out. Barriers. New variants of fences and fence gates and doors, prismarine crystals, like all of that stuff came out. I think 1.8, yeah, 1.8 was also we got more variants on food. Because we got mutton and raw rabbit and rabbit stew and like more of the rabbit stuff just in general. Endermites, Guardians, Elder Guardians got added. Like this was before like the major ocean update. So they like the ocean was like slightly populated at this point. It was really weird. It was slightly populated, but still less populated than after some of the other like aquatic update stuff. Because the coral didn't exist yet, like some of that stuff is still missing. The ground that was giving me EXP was Skulk, which was quite the reintroduction to Minecraft. Oh, you found the horror game! I'm so happy for you. I do like the way that we went from Minecraft as a horror game to realizing that Minecraft is a horror game. Like, I want to point out that, like, one of my first introductions to Minecraft was, like, oh god, what is his name? It was the guy that was making the first, like, how to survive your first night in Minecraft videos, and it was, like, all of that, and, like, Minecraft in that day and age was a literal horror game. Literally a horror game. No ifs, ands, or buts. You walk into that cave, it is pitch black, you think you will die. And then they walked a whole bunch of it back and made it, like, nicer and not as mean. Hey, join Rat Server, we have floating dragons. That is true, Zir. If you really want to see the nonsense of Minecraft and you don't want to do it on your own, you could ask to join Rat Server. There are things there that will both blow your mind and also confuse you. Weep. I also need to go on Rat Server and see if I can find a good spot to give us an eye blossom farm. Maidens. Yeah, maidens. I like that none of us have taken it down. I think at one point we talked about taking it down, and then nobody did it. And so now it's just still up there. I technically have a Minecraft server in my apartment, but it's mostly used by my sibling and their friends. That's fair. Well, if you ever want to, the option is always there. We will never say no. In fact, usually when a new rat joins Rat Server, everybody goes, oh, you're joining? Here, let me give you all of the armor in the world. I don't want this song anymore. Okay, that's fair. You are landing. That's why you shouldn't mine at night? No, you shouldn't mine at night. Well, actually, no, you should mine at night. That is the great fallacy of, like, that song, is you should mine at night when it's bad on the surface, because then it'll be fine. Hide in the mines. Oh my god, I'm free now. I can plant wheat. Wheat? Wheat? Being said, I'm going to turn in because my wife is getting worse and I have a meeting with my friend tomorrow. Vodka Rats. Have a good time, Zone Minty. Take care of yourself. Don't commit too many crimes. Only a couple of crimes. Okay. All the monsters up top and they're not down in your mines again? Yeah. Less creeper aw man moments. So yes, you should mine during the night with some torches and just not go into the caves. Or consider go into the caves because they're neat. Tastic has been trying to get me to play Minecraft with them for a while now and I keep putting it off because I'm so close to beating Factorio. Okay, once you beat Factorio, Minecraft. Miss Undertale. That's not new. I just miss it right now. I could replay it at like any moment. It's not like I don't own it or anything. I just miss it. Oh yeah, no, but the crafter's fun though. Phil's of Minecraft. Oh, I miss him. I miss Phil's of Minecraft. I can miss him because he's gone. Not forever, just for the rest of the year. Which I hate. Too bad no, he didn't die. He's fine. He's just going to America. Because he loves his wife and wants to visit his wife's family. That's terrible. That he loves his wife? How dare you? No. He's visiting America? He's done it several times. He'll be fine. He'll be back. And then he can spend all of his time chopping down trees and feeding gapples to people on Tubbo server. Know what Tubbo's doing with his server, but I appreciate him. I have no idea what Tubbo's plan is for that server. Why did he add snails? Why did he accidentally or on purpose recreate the eggs from the QSMP? Just as snails that can harm people. Instead of as eggs that are helpless and idiotic. Who? Tubbo? B-boy? Owner of every monthly Minecraft server ever for forever because he really likes modded servers, but they really are the 2-week Minecraft phase devices. Oh my god, am I free? I'm free. The fuck-ass snail that ran away? The snail didn't run away. Crinkle is fine. I just really appreciate that Foolish was like, oh, I get a snail? I'm naming you Snoozer. And now he's training him to fight everything and everyone. I don't know what happened there. That arc was wild. And I don't feel like it took that long. He looked at that snail and said, we're fighting things now. And that snail was totally down for it. Cool. Well, now I have a ceiling that is not just netherrack. Sounds like you're describing Pokemon. Zir, I want you to know that literally within an hour of Foolish getting Snoozer as a snail that was following him around, he literally had a snail fight with Sneeg Snail Crinkle. Literally, like, they said it was a Pokemon fight and they kept trying to like name out attacks, and it was really just snails jumping at each other and pretending to hit each other. It was adorable. Okay, we're going to really quickly go back to spawn because I realized that in many days of playing this, I have not checked on... Oh, I have not checked on the melon and pumpkin farms, and I want to A, verify that they work, and B, verify that nothing has burned down. Because I feel like it's always a possibility that something will burn down. Sure, it was super cute, think snails are neat. Oh no, it was adorable. Crinkle is the cutest snail ever. Despite the fact that all of them look the same. However, I will say this. Amesy also has a snail, which they named the Lich. And that is my favorite snail name ever. You know. Very normal things are happening on that server. From Adventure Time? I think that's what the name is from, yes. Come here. I feel better now. My bloodlust has been satisfied. Wee. We're taking this with us because I just realized something else. Take another one. Okay. Stop. Hi, Cactus Farm. Are you full? Because I just had this thought 2 seconds ago. Oh, thank God. No, you're fine. Are you guys working? Yes. Proof. Give me proof that you work. I'm gonna blink and miss it. Okay. That's working. I saw one in the back go. Do you think I have enough pumpkins? Oh my God. Okay, I have enough pumpkins. We're fine. Let me just... Need more? No, I'm not keeping all of the pumpkins. More pumpkins? No, we don't need more pumpkins. I am going to use them for bone meal. Hold on, there's a problem. Hi guys. Are you on a chunk border? Yes. Cool. I'll fix that another day and put it in the same thing. Why is Spooky Flute Man in the caves? What do you mean, Spooky Flute Man? Do you mean the sounds of, like, allays? Oh, not that one. We'll keep those. And all of these are getting fed to this. Okay. Now we're gonna take this over into the villager farm area so that I can trade some stuff. Also, every day I'm fighting the urge to just mark out areas of the overworld to completely revamp. Because I keep seeing other people with really cool hardcore worlds and going, I could make that. I don't need to make that. My brain just really wants to. Weep. I just want to make my hardcore world look more cohesive, and I don't know how to start, but I could. It would just take a lot of effort. Hello, everybody. Hello, can you, yeah. Wonderful. A normal amount of pumpkins and melons. A normal amount of iron. Yup. Cool. Put these up here. We'll take those poppies to get recycled. We'll leave these down here. We'll actually really quickly... I am slowly getting too much material. Oh no. What do I start doing with emerald blocks? Oh no. Do I build a temple for emerald blocks? Beacon? I don't need beacons that often. Besides, that's what all the iron's for. Whoops. Hold on. Wait, no, you can go in here too. Whee! That's normal. Okay, so we've done the ceiling on there. We could start working on the... We could start working on the wall designs in the throne room. I kind of want to start working on that. We're gonna go grab some moss, because moss will be nice and easy for that. No, but I keep watching other people play hardcore. Like, I've been watching a little bit of Flip play and some other people. Like some of the people that were in the raid a couple days ago. Like, Zan, who I've already watched on and off, but like every now and then I go like really do a deep dive and like really watch people play hardcore. And my god, does it make me just want to play so much a video game. Because I see these people and they like have these like whole big areas that they like carved out and made look different and made look really cool, and then I'm sitting over here and I'm like, I made a box and I put stuff inside of my box, and even though the box is like half gone at this point, like the box still had some neat stuff in it, and also wheat and other fields, and I made an observatory that we haven't finished yet because I'm afraid of the stupid telescope. I keep watching other people and I'm like, I could revamp so much stuff. I could finish revamping the whole desert area. I could go and revamp like some of the ocean over here and like put a monster out in the water, and then I sit there and I go, I don't want to put a monster in the water because then that means that I have to build a monster in the water, and that's a lot of effort. But also, like, there's so much free real estate out here. I could even just do a custom like water biome. Like I could do some like, ooh, what's down there? I could just sit here and like revamp some of the underwater area. What is down here? I've been down here. Yeah, I've been down here. This is me. That's 100% me. Yep. The climbing around thing, that's me. That's me. I saw lava and said, deal with the problem? No, I will dig around the problem. Or like doing a total overhaul of that desert. That would be neat one day. But I just look at all these people that play like hardcore Minecraft way more than I do, and I'm like, I could never. I could never. But then I like even think about like what I think World 7 will look like, and I'm like, no, World 7's gonna look so cohesive and nice in comparison. And then I'll look fondly back on the mayhem of World 6 and feel sad about it. Just constantly flip-flopping between wanting complete organization and overhaul and chaos. Nah, it was the rats. You know, if one day some of the rats said, yeah, no, we found a way into your world and we placed blocks in places and made you think it was you, I think I would legitimately believe some of you. Because there's some things that, like, even if you guys weren't in here, like, somebody said, go do this thing, and I said no and did the opposite, and or even listened to them in some instances. And it was the rats. Even when it wasn't necessarily the rats, it was the rats. Okay. So, we're not going to use this side as the test wall, we're going to use this side as our test wall, mostly because it's clear. We have an absurd amount of up that we can go. Actually, no, we have a chest for this. We have a thing for this. We'll put this out just so that I can dump all this in there for the time being. We need our tool chest because I need my grass. Which is such an interesting sentence to say. So we're gonna take this, and we're gonna take it all the way over here. Our width is 60, which makes sense, because I know that that way is the even. It's Z. Yes. Yep, okay, so that is our total space. We have a 60 by 25 space there. And then we have... Can I do this? No, there's no way I can do this without me smacking my head against it. It should be 60 by 20, or not 60. It'll be up 25 regardless. So we have 85 and 60, which means that there's an extra 15 in the middle right here, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's just a little bit wider than this. So there's an extra bit in the middle here. So we can design this wall first and then copy it onto this one with a 15 wide thing here, which I do think I want to note just to make sure that I have the spacing correct. Take that with us. This is not a permanent thing. This is just a temporary thing. This is the middle. Actually, I'll just do it with this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the middle section that we're going to have extra space in. Now, what we need to decide is what the heck we are doing with the rest of this. Where do we start? Because if we go down here, we can look at what we did down here as an example. I don't want banners. So that's the difference for what we're doing up here. I don't want banners because we already have banners. So we need to focus less on the banners being part of it. Doing something like this with the sword in the middle looked really nice. Maybe that's something that we pick up again. I like the bone blocks. We'll probably keep the bone blocks as the block that we use. But also we could get the... Every time I work on this, my brain keeps going, yeah, but the pale wood exists. You could use that. Which is not the thought I should be having. Okay. So if we have 60, we know that we have a section of 30. So actually I should have kept the grass so I could measure it without needing to measure it. We're doing this again. Just so I can compartmentalize it. So that's 30. So those will be the midpoint. Let me put that back immediately because I'm so scared of losing it. I guess I could have just done up to the midpoint. So that's our midpoint. I am going insane. Hold on. I will reactivate. Actually, you don't. Fuck it. Disable. Okay. Rats more like rats. I like the rats. They're good. We have half a thing here. Anything up there is going to get obscured. Anything down here will be seen. So what we can do is start like this and do people bed time zone rats. Have a good time zone, Aether. Let's do this. So it won't ever be on this one. I don't like it when it's up against that. So we won't be up against that. We do 1, 2.
Rats less than 3 drink water.
You drink water. I don't know why I said that so aggressively. If that gas is still there. Yeah, okay, I'm just turning down. Hostile creature noises. As soon as Aether got off Rat Saber, I got blown up twice. Blew up my fucking crafter. Well, should have been crafting. You were crafting in the wrong neighborhood. Pictured that. We're starting there. I know that just looks like a G. I promise you it will look slightly different. I promise you it will look slightly different. The G shape is just really convenient. Come on. Oop, not there. Not there either. There. GG, die in the video game. Peepo Shy, Terraform. No, no, no. We're not dying in the video game today. Nor tomorrow. Nor the day after that. No, Sag. No! How dare you. How dare you also get caught up in this. I thought I could trust you, Star. Turns out that was never an option. Actually, we're gonna move that up to a 3 again. Do it as a 2-2. You're cooked? No, I need it to whoosh. I did too straight of a line. I need it to whoosh. I'm sorry, I don't have better descriptive words for what I'm trying to do right now other than making a weird whoosh noise. Hopefully you understand. Actually, how is it that I want it to do? I want it to... Nope. I want it to do... like... kind of ish. That's not really smooth though. That might be closer. Is there anything I've done over here that is roughly the whoosh shape that I want? Have I done this whoosh before? This is closer right here. But what I'm looking for is from a curve going into something like this, and I want it to flatten out. So it'd be like part of the bottom would be like this, but it's not going to be that. I think this is actually fairly close. I think if I do... that will be... That's the whoosh I wanted. We got there. Okay, so now we just need to... You need things and stuff. Oh, incorrect. There was an attempt. It was the wrong attempt, but there was an attempt. Stop jumping off poorly. I can't parkour anymore. If somebody asked me to jump for the stake right now, I would simply fall. I'd be like that one guy that's so confident he'll make it and then he like walks like straight off the edge. If we do something like that, because that follows, hold on, I've got too much stuff in the, didn't mean to do that, hold on. So it matches the curve of that, essentially is what I was looking for. So from this mid spot, you can see it follows that. We're gonna replicate that on the other side. Let's actually jump for the beef as it's uncooked. Okay, Void, between the two of us, the person who remembers the actual Parkour Civilization lore might be the bigger nerd. Just saying. Okay. What do I put behind that? What do I do over here? What did I do down here? I kind of want to take that. Because we've kept this kind of curl design in a lot of parts of this. Unironically, like that is just part of this, is you have that curl pattern. I don't think it's, well, I mean, it's right there on this part of the wall, but you see it in a lot of places. There's that curl pattern that I've kept. So I'm fine with keeping even more of that, but I think maybe we need to keep this. I think maybe we need to bring back parts of this. Because that'd be like a nice detail. If you're underneath here, you get to see it, but like if you're over here looking across, you'll see like the glimpse of it across. I think we need to add it. Hold on, we're gonna do... Yeah, I am. What about it? Giant nerd. That's okay though, you're allowed to be a giant nerd. So the one in the basement is a 2-1 pattern, which I don't think will translate as nicely here. I think the pattern here needs to be although that feels too big. So what if I also did a version of it like that? No. No, because that's an actual chain now. Like, I've made probably a really good chain link look, but that's not what we were going for. Well, maybe that does look interesting. Because you do the cross beams as a different color. because it would be like the edge is looking at you from a slightly different distance. So like you do darker for the actual rings, and then for the crosses across you'd have just a slightly lighter gray. Sunny Cafe mentioned it in chat. We put a bid on land for the orchard. You have mentioned it. Did it go through well? Do you have it? Is it yours now? This was the original. Don't know yet. Probably won't hear back from them till the new year. Fingers crossed. I think I'm gonna go with the big chain pattern. I think that's the pattern I want to use. Because I think it looks slightly better. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. All the fingers crossed it goes well. 1, 2, 3. Stop screaming at me. We're gonna do this across. We might also go do the swirly bit on the other side as well, since I'm thinking about it and existing. Oh, we'll get there. I've seen a couple of different people, like, doing the purchase of, like, a first home or, like, buying land lately. It's always exciting. I'm not there yet, but I am incredibly proud of all the people that have made it there. Because for some people, that's, like, their, like, great dream for, like, adulthood. They're like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna buy a house. And that will be success enough for me. Boop. I'm old all in its own time? Yeah, of course. Home ownership is difficult. It is something to not do lightly, but some people really do go out and be like, I'm gonna make this a priority for my life. And honestly, I think that's a good way to do it, because you need a goal to get yourself to do things. And something like getting a house is a really big goal to commit to, but it also involves a lot of extra work. So you really gotta get yourself together if you're gonna, like, buy a land or buy a house. A huge goal, yup. I need more moss. Moss. I need to stop falling as well. Especially in the current market. Oh yeah, no, it's bad. I've seen a lot of people that want to, and it is just literally not feasible. And I've seen a lot of people who literally went through the process of, like, buying a home just to be laid off. Which is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Because there's no way to predict that kind of stuff. Can you kind of guess a little bit? Maybe, but, like, it's nuts. The amount of, like, layoffs that have been happening all over. Nobody is safe. Wait. Okay. I know what I'm going for. But paying rent is absurd too. As somebody that does. Yes. Yep. It's just all absurdities everywhere. Where is this one? Oh, it's right there. All absurdities all the way down. Whee! Okay. So it's not here, but we got 1, 2, 3. And then we do boop, boop. Three. And now we've got a funky reverse G. We go 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's easy. Good night, Rathens a Block. Have fun with G's and have a lovely rest of your time zone. Have a lovely rest of your time zone. Thank you for hanging out. Oh my god, it's almost 9. Well, it's past 9. Stream is almost over. That's the point. I didn't realize how late it was. I thought I would have more
Comfort
time.
streamer. Trato 10 love. I miss Stan.
I miss Stan too. I mean, Stan's on the stream screen and also, like, this is his temple. No, I still miss him. We'll get some of this outlined at least before the end of stream. Meow, meow, meow. Cool. And that will be enough to get us all the way through the end of this. I'm just gonna go through and do as much of this as possible, and then we'll come back and do the actual mob proofing of it later, mostly because this is not a high priority thing, because this will get taken down. The only reason why I'm mob proofing it is because it's going to be mildly annoying while I'm messing around with a whole bunch of these details if it keeps spitting piglin at me. Because that's the fear. Is that they'll just fall down onto my head and scare the shit out of me. Ooh. I am still excited for the end of the year, though. I'm not planning on doing something too extreme for the hardcore world, but getting to do some, like, end of year shenanigans and stuff will be nice. And is that the last? That is. Okay. I didn't mob proof that. Never mind, it's fine. I think I'm missing one on that side, or I screwed up somewhere in the middle and it's off account somewhere. Something is incorrect. Oh, it's because it's even. Shit. I forgot about that. Okay, so this is the dividing point. I am literally just going to go through and we'll redo this so that it has something that makes a little bit more sense. And we might even trim even more back from it, but this will be a good enough place to start. Whee! Okay. Hey, wait a minute. What? I know this song? No, you don't. There's no way that this would be a Risk of Rain 2 song. Absolutely no way. Wait, Void, I've also been meaning to talk about this in general to chat. Did you see what's going on with the Seekers of the Storm DLC? Have you played with the new variants of the items? I think I might take this back to that. For all those that don't know, though, Risk of Rain 2, the Seekers of the Storm... Oh, you don't even know this. Okay, Void, welcome. They have said, and I will pull this up really quick to read this. They're fucking cool. Yeah. So if you didn't know, and I talked about this a little bit like a while ago, I think it would have been back in November. In November, they announced that they were reworking major portions of Seeker of the Storm. So they have a roadmap that is 3 phases long. The first phase is items and elites, second phase is the False Sun boss, and phase 3 is the survivors. Phase 1 came out earlier this month. Phase 1 went through and they revamped almost all of the items that they released in Seekers of the Storm. They went through, looked at them, made sure that they meshed better with existing builds that people liked, made sure that it actually was a good item and meshed with other abilities that you could have. Like, they looked at it a little bit harder, and then they really said, nope, we can make this better, and they did. They really, really have. So I'm really excited to see phase 3, which probably isn't going to be until like February, which I'm 100% fine with. But I'm very excited to see how they rebalance the survivors as well. To play more Risk of Rain 2, I love Risk of Rain 1 so much. I got at least one win on Risk of Rain 2 that I haven't looked at the DLCs for it yet. Zero, if you're looking at the DLCs for it, just know that Seekers of the Storm is the DLC that came from Gearbox. So Gearbox bought basically Risk of Rain 2 and said, we'll take care of it. And then put out a DLC, and people had a lot of feelings about it, and they've been revamping and redoing it. And it's actually turning out really, really well. It's 1, 2, 3 away from that. So this one is 1, 2, 3 away from that. Now it should work. Twisted Elite change was so needed. I still think that I liked the possibility of just fucking dying in your run really late game, but I'm also insane and just think that it's really funny when I die when I'm going that fast, so I had no strong feelings about the Twisted Elite, but I do really, really like the attack that they added for them. This somehow doesn't feel correct. Why don't you feel correct now? You're too far over. You know what? I'm just gonna start from this side, I think. Beam charge instead of instantly fucking dying is so floated. No, the instantly fucking dying was really funny to me. I want to toggle it back on. I want to go find somebody that's like, no, it was funny, and then just re-implement it as a mod. I would unironically mod Risk of Rain 2 to do that. Again, I might be a little bit insane. But the Void DLCs here, 10 out of 10. I love the Void DLC. It was really well done. I like how the Void items interact with current items. It's a very good DLC if you want to play it. But if you do want to play it, I would definitely say, like, get friends to help you with it the first couple of times, because doing that stuff on your own was nuts. I did, like, one of the challenges on my own the first time through, and I was like, I am confused and lost. I have no idea what any of these items do, and I refuse to look it up, and I am scared. Like, yeah, instead death is funny, but come on, I'm trying to at least hit stage 12 here. If you're hitting, maybe it's a skishu. Wait, have you considered that maybe it's a skishu? I can never find people to play games with. I am, however, very willing to look up what items do. Oh, Zier, do I have great news for you. There are a lot of rats that really like Risk of Rain 2. And if you just start asking about Risk of Rain 2, they will come out of the woodwork. They will appear. One, two, three. Oh, it's correct now. I didn't mob-proof any of that. That's a problem for future me. It's not a skishu, I just have enough stuff to make my equipment my primary. I feel like that's a skishu. Also, I never had any issues with Twisted Elites killing me before something like stage 12. I'm not saying that it's not possible to have problems, I'm just surprised. Hi, that's me and like those guys over there. I say pointing at those yellow and orange names. There's a lot of rats that will play Risk of Rain 2. Including me. I have 100%ed it like 3 times over at this point. Although I think I'm still missing some of the logs from some of the new areas, but I can't figure out where they are. They're missing. I think I might just remove meal. But also, yes, Woo would probably love to have more people to play Risk of Rain with. I don't think I like the pluses at the end. What if we do it like this? E. How do you feel about the new Bulwark Ambry variants? Which ones? Hold on, I have to make sure I remember this. Oh, no, I have seen this! I have seen this! I actually really like it because they gave us new places to get into, like, the last final area. But, like, and they also, like, did some variants in there. I thought it was really cool. No, I do think that looks good. I think we'll stick with that. I need to figure out the everything else that goes in here, but I think it's going to be very plain. I don't want these patterns to be that distracting. I just want them to be noise. So it's probably going to be more sporadic looking than anything else, and then we'll paste those everywhere. We can start working on it though. I could add another curl. No, that'd be too much noise. Let's clean this up really quick. E3 never happening again. E3's dead and gone. We'll have to get our video game news elsewhere, like at the Video Game Awards, which definitely doesn't have any bias and or was willing to take people's money to advertise an AI game. No, there's no way that would happen. Absolutely not. Honestly, I look at like social media. If people want to announce something hype, people will get excited about it. Isn't user voting only like 10% of the consideration? No, I mean like the advertising. Because they'll do like a lot of like announcements and stuffs there. An AI game, what? If you go look at the news about it didn't win anything. To be very extremely clear, it didn't win anything. It was an ad. So in the middle of the Game Awards, there was an ad for something called Catly. I'm not gonna look it up and show it to you on screen. You don't even need to see much of it to look at it and go, that's made out of AI. And it 100% looks like it's made out of AI. But what's even more ridiculous about it is... Hold on, it's on Steam. But also, yeah, the user voting in the Game Awards, I want them to explain more about what they're doing, honestly, because it doesn't make a lot of sense right now. So Catly is described as an open-world adventure filled with surprises and joy, side by side with cats. Build your dream island, meet various characters, and enjoy caring for your cats, dressing up, building, farming, racing, skiing, and much more. How? What are you trying to do? Why is this a building game and a farm game and a cat game? A cat MMO is not what we needed. From Game Awards FAQ, winners are determined by a blended vote between voting jury and public fan voting. Who is the voting jury, though? Do they have public information on the voting jury? Like 100 people? I don't... Listen, I feel the same way about, like... other major awards where they have like a voting jury that decides like 95% of everything. Why? Why are they qualified to tell us what's good and what's bad? Meow, meow, meow. On that one. I can figure that out. Kylie looks like it was expertly crafted to make me as uninterested in it as possible. You mean you don't want the cat MMO? Demon King, thank you for the follow. 2, 3. That's 4 up. They have a page listing the jury. It's a bunch of media sites I've never heard about. Send me the link. Who are you? Okay, like, okay, hold on. GameSpot, IGN, kind of funny. New York Times, Polygon, makes sense. PC Gamer makes sense. Why is Rolling Stone on here? Why is NPR on here? And also, why is it... Why are there no names? Why is it just studios and publishers and websites? Are they like taking consensuses of people in those offices? Didn't Kotaku or somebody not let people put out like their like games of the year ranked list this year? What's happening in the game industry? Why is it all bad? 67. Are you 67? 67. Oop. I'm fine. Like, I'm fine if people want to put out all their articles and have their staff be like, these are the games that we think are games of the year. But like, why are you trying to decide what's actually the best? Why did Balatro win nothing when literally everybody and their brother has been yelling about Balatro all year? And then Balatro's also been making fun of the fact that they keep getting given a higher rating than they actually deserve because they use cards as the way that they're doing their game. I think we just need to do some shapes, honestly, for this. I think if we do some shapes and then we do like a central shape here, I think that'll be good. Hollywood but gaming, which is not what I wanted. I did not want Hollywood but gaming. Let's do right here. Or me. Nope, I don't like that proximity. No, I don't like that either. You need to be a different shape if you're there, I guess. Not there. One up. Whee! Do one more, like, little- my brain says that these are, like, wind lines. Do, like, one more wind line right there, and then put an L right in there. Maybe facing the other way. Anyways, modern media bad, except for the indie stuff, and I love the indie stuff. The indie stuff has been so fun. And not, like, cursed in the same ways that other things have been. That was too low. Maybe I remove the L's, but I need something else to go in that spot. But I think that might be a problem for another day. Yeah, this will definitely be a problem for another day. I'm gonna look at this, I'm gonna mess around with this. I will get there eventually. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it very much when you guys come and hang out and watch me just jump around in Minecraft and get upset about things. But it is time to rest. I said this previously, we're going to have a stream on Sunday. Early next week is the holidays, so there will be no stream then. By stream on Sunday, there will be a calendar that I will have up. I will have those streams also scheduled in Twitch for you guys to see. So don't worry, you're going to know all of the information as I know it at the same time. But we'll have some cool stuff to go into my 4th year, or to celebrate 4 years of streaming. Lots of things to do, lots of stuff to do. I've got so many ideas and so many plans, and there's just infinite everything to do. But regardless, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. I know it is a rough time of year, but I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves, drinking water, eating food, getting sleep, taking your meds, doing everything that you can for yourself during this season. Every little bit helps. I don't think there's anything else. I appreciate you guys. Have a good time zone, and I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye! Carol. No, replay that, Carol. You gave me your money, you get your point.
Have a good time zone. This has actually been nice to hang out at.
Thank you, Zira. I hope you have a good time zone. Bye!
Gamer.